This one's for the men. In my coaching work with men and with women who are in relationships with men, something that comes up quite often and has become sort of a theme or a pattern that I've noticed over time is that men are so willing to abandon and to give up what matters most, to separate from, to disconnect from the value of their life for things, for the old, outdated sense of success. And many men are still very much attached to their worth being associated with the things that they accumulate. And they will say, well, I'm a provider. That's what I do. That's my job. And their entire sense of self and their value that they believe they bring to the table, all is narrowed down. All is sort of just confounded into this one thing, which is providing. That's the role I play. And as a man, you are so much more. And what I find is what is really sad to see is that everybody in your life recognizes your value, knows how much you mean, and you rob them of your essence because you disconnect from everything else that contributes to your value now in your pursuit of those things and the money, and the material wealth that you believe you must gain in order to be a worthy man. I've seen so many people disconnect from and abandon and betray the moments, the experiences, the moments, the memories, the experiences where their partner needs them to be present and they can't see that because they don't believe that that's worth their time when they still have things to pursue and obtain. They dedicate all of their energy and their focus on figuring out what they're doing wrong so that they can correct it, so that they can have access to and manifest the material success that they believe is at the heart of their sense of value. Without it, they have no value, they have no worth. And the funny thing is that often when you listen to men, they will equate that. They'll say, I feel like I've invested so many years, I worked so hard, and everything I did for my family, but their marriages fell apart and they feel betrayed, they feel abandoned because everything they did was for their partner. But in those years that they were with that person, they were not with that person, they were not present. She chose you to be able to enjoy and experience you. And if you are present in body but you are absent in every other way, you in essence are absent. There are so many memories, so many milestones, so many things, simple things that make up the essence of our lives and our relationships. Taking our kids to the park, having those conversations, diving deep with one another, laughing with one another, where work does not come into it, it just doesn't factor. And that's, I think, the greatest challenge, and I think it's the greatest loss for us all, that the men of our communities and of our worlds refuse to come to the table because they don't feel they're worthy. And they invest all their time and their energy in whatever they believe supports their pursuit of material success, so that they can finally come home, come to the table, and just be present with you. And by the time that happens, the relationship's already gone. And there's no connection with the children. They've grown up, they've developed and formed bonds and relationships that are valuable, that hold essence and contribute to their day to day experience in a meaningful way with other people. So, if this resonates with you, even if it just sparks a thought, where am I in relation to this? Am I abandoning precious moments? Am I tuning out of or tapping out of precious conversations that help me to find that way to my person? Am I there when something's happened in my person or my children's day that they probably won't remember in the next year, but right now it's a big deal for them, and when they look back on it, they'll remember that I was there sitting beside them and I was present to hear them and to just to let them know I am here with you. um, because people are in relationships for years, investing all of their time, energy, and intelligence in their pursuit for material success, that every other aspect of who they are and everything else that they can give doesn't even get a day in the sunlight. It doesn't even get seen. They don't develop in any of the other areas, psychologically, emotionally, um, and for some even physically, because that is all they focus on. They pour all of themselves into that, and in the meantime, they expect their relationship just to hang about and wait. But every moment is precious. And as the months and the years go by, with you expecting that this these relationships that are supposed to be so valuable and important to you, that they're being totally abandoned and just put on a shelf until you're ready to feel like you can show up for it, it's never going to come. It's never going to come. And this is why so many men are dissatisfied, and they often blame their dissatisfaction on the people around them. Well, I was doing the right thing. I wasn't doing anything wrong. I was just focusing on work, and I was doing this for her, or I was doing this for my family, and they don't appreciate it. Well, a relationship as a whole is made up of different aspects. You can't just pour all your focus into one and neglect the other things, like the emotional availability, the emotional maturity, the spiritual growth that you can achieve together, the fun that you can have, the time for play. All of these factors make a whole relationship, and you're just there pouring all of your energy into one part of it, and then you feel slighted, you feel betrayed, and you feel like you were abandoned when you come to the table and that relationship's not there anymore. I think that's the saddest thing that I see and I witness with men, is that they don't realize that whilst they're creating space for the material wealth and to give space to whatever success is yet to come, that in the meantime there are other aspects of themselves that is good enough, is enough, that if they were just to give it a little bit of time and a little bit of light and a little bit of energy, it will also evolve, and that would be more than enough to sustain the relationships that you value and that value you. And the reason why many men feel like the only thing that women ever wanted from them was money is because that's the only thing that they decided about themselves that was worthy, is their material success, and without it they're nothing. And until you as a man change that personal concept and that belief about the world, the woman who want to love you where you are and respect you where you are, receiving the best of you that has got nothing to do with external stuff and material things, we have no access to you.